Hello dear viewers, see student of final level of ICAB. Today I will discuss the major weaknesses faced by the students in C exam, especially in case study exam. I will detail in my next video on NPB, financing, etc. Today I have found out some weaknesses or major reason for failure in C exam. One of the main failure is the cause of one of the main failures is not completing the case. If you don't be able to complete the case or fulfilling the requirement, this will be cause of failure. Secondly, the critical thing is NPV analysis. There is some complexity in NPV analysis. I will take a special discussion on this caption subject, NPV analysis, separately. Thirdly is your answer. If your answer is shorter than your requirement or allocated marks, or larger than your required allocated marks, you have to trade off or balancing of your marks and your answers. So be careful. Follow the especially November-December case, Ahmad Leather, page number 2, that is allocation of marks. There are 5 criteria given in the question. One is assimilating and using information, that carrying 20 marks. Structuring problem and solution, 25 marks. Applying judgment, 25 marks. Conclusion and recommendation, 20 marks. And finally, integrative and multidisciplinary skills, 10 marks. Total 100 marks. Vertically we can say you will get 15 marks for executive summary, 5 marks for structure, 55 marks for main report or detailed report, and balance 15 or 35 for calculation and appendix. This is not written in the question. I have found this from ICAB class earlier. So what is assimilating and using information? That is wider concept, wider context of the business. What are the external factors mainly, such as force measure, COVID-19, high interest rate, high borrowing cost, high excess of loss, exchange loss charged against you company. If the wider context is not given or clearly in the question, you must be given internal cause that we found in our November 2021 case, Ahmad Leather. That was the reduction of their sale was due to supply chain management failure. So if the clearly it is given the internal cause, don't go for external failure. So this is most important. Structuring problem and solution. This is financial statement analysis. Past or present data ratio analysis. I'll discuss later the detail. What can you provide in the answer? What ratio should be given? Sensitivity, sensitivity, trusty, etc. Applying judgment, this is linkage and professional accepticism, lack of objectivity by the auditor or consultant, bias, if there is bias in their discharging the responsibility, this may be cause of their bias or objectivity failure. Conclusion and recommendation, this is decision making. Don't try to tout your business or clients, that is advertising. So if you advertise on behalf of the client or business, should not be considered well by the examiner. So this may be carefully done. Negative or positive effect in the business, external or internal, that is enough to comply with the criteria. Conclusion and recommendation, this must be smart and clearly written and should be free from bias. Integrative and multidisciplinary skills, that is carrying 10 marks. This is very easy. Social, ethical, environmental and other issues that will be given by the question in the question. Another cause of failure, similar or homogeneous writing. Don't try to follow others or copying the notes or guide provided in the or substancer given in the books published in the market. So if you follow, try to change the sentences or transform the sentence. If the sentence is given in the simple, you can convert into complex or compound sentence, passive voice, active voice, gerund, participle, present participle, and so on. Try to make the change of this sentence. Don't write directly written in the books. Too much numerical expression. Try to reduce your calculation, unnecessary calculation, especially in NPV or in the ratio analysis or in the financial statement analysis. In November 2021, see the requirement A, that is in the question requires you to state current financial position. Current financial position doesn't mean you have to calculate according to IFRS all the financial position, balance sheet or PL account. So you don't be able to complete the case in your answer. So don't try to make the balance sheet again. Just try to pick up the figure for your statement analysis. That is for the ratio analysis. If you have to make the revised financial statement, just take up the figures, net profit before tax, and give the adjustment, and finally adjusted profit is enough. If the financial position should be given or balance sheet extract, you can make extract that just change in equity, that show the previous net profit before tax and net profit after tax after your adjustment or correction entry, that will be given in the question. So try to reduce your figure work. Ornamental introduction, especially in executive summary, you have to be ornamental in your executive summary. That I said in my previous lecture or video. Lack of assumption, you must give assumption in the NPV analysis or any theoretical expression. Without assumption, you don't carry any good marks. too much span through. Don't cut up or scratch your answer sheet inserting new things. So don't try to avoid the penning through your answer sheet. High quality English and grammatical errors. You should present high quality English, especially in executive summary, or try to reduce grammatical errors. Don't make error in grammatical presentation. So this is very much important. Lack of law and regulation, especially BSEC, Code of Ethics, tax rate, VAT rate, audit issue, Companies Act, valuation, lack of knowledge in BSEC regulation, classification, misclassification, SWOT analysis. If you classify weakness as a threat or threat in the weakness, this may be cause of your failure. So this is careful. Very careful, should be carefully followed. Advertising, fierce competition. So don't try to avoid the fierce competition. 250 students are competing. Fierce competition is there. So be careful and try to make yourself to compete in the exam. This is professional and competitive exam against your skill. So try to grab up your result within your control. Mock exam and group study. Mock exam is the most important. At least in every week, Friday, Saturday, you must complete a mock exam. 2 or 3 cases selected by you, especially last 2-3 cases is enough to practice once in a week fully and in your legible hand. Don't try to memorize anything, just try to present and correct your answer and freshen your answer sheet. Without practicing a lot, you can't go for success. You can't go for examination hall for success. You can't attain success. Lack of discussion wall already failed. Blurred illegible expression at the end of the answer sheet. Especially I noticed that after 2 or 3 hours students are getting tired and try to present their answers in the weekly. Try to weaken their presentation. So if they are weak in their presentation, at the end of the 2 or 3 hours are getting tired, they can't write. If they can't write well in the just like first hour in his exam, so this may be cause of failure. Writings will be weak. I'll discuss this time the regulation or act to be followed, especially Companies Act, section 210 to 217, auditors, appointment, removal, liabilities and others. So try to make up this the section. Try to understand this section and practice always this always the case study exam. In your question you will find a matter to be inserted from this 210 or 217 section of Companies Act 1994. FRA, Financial Reporting Act 2015, this should be followed. Try to find out whether auditor has been enlisted in FRC or by FRA. So without FRC listing, auditor cannot be appointed for listed company. ISB, Code of Ethics. Find out whether principle of integrity objectivity, competence, confidentiality and professional behavior are broken by the auditor or consultant. If there is any like this problem is there, so try to find out and write the answer. BSEC circular. BSEC circular in 2021, there are some important circulars. That is share valuation. In February 2021, share valuation, there was an instruction, try to download and follow the rules for valuation of share, fair value method. So I'll show calculation later. Bond valuation. Bond valuation in June 2021, there was an instruction or circular for bond valuation. I have already answered this in November 2021 case Ahmed Leather. So this should be updated by you. SME market, there was a badge for SME entry in the market, share market, stock market. So SME was in the discussion among the investor and shareholder and stakeholders. So SME market, for SME, the company's paid up capital must be at least 5 crore. This is enough. If the paid up capital including new issue exceed 30 crore, that will be transferred into normal market from SME. So this is should be carefully prepared. The regulation should be carefully handled by you. So share money deposit, there was another regulation. After 6 months of getting share money deposit, you must transfer it to the share capital. If you calculate equity, you must have the figure from including the share money deposit. That you will give a note that share money deposit has been transferred to paid up capital. If not, fixed share are given, fixed share is given, so this should be another liability. So another instruction. That we won't be so much complex. Unclaimed dividend. There was an instruction by the BSEC for unclaimed dividend. Previous 3 years or more, unclaimed dividend or payable must be paid to the government dividend stabilization fund. That is my last discussion. That is my end discussion. I'll discuss later the NPV analysis and other issue of November 2021 case. Thank you.